Albanese lands in Sydney after official visit to White House as Biden says US-Australia relationship is more critical than ever. Sky News Australia. Sign up. Log in. Australia News. Albanese lands in Sydney after official visit to White House as Biden says US-Australia relationship is more critical than ever. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has returned to Sydney after his official visit to the White House, as President Joe Biden declares the US-Australia alliance is more critical than ever. Adriana Majeros, digital reporter. 2 Minutes Read. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has returned to Australia after his trip to the United States to meet with President Joe Biden. Mr. Albanese touched down in Sydney on Saturday morning with partner Jodie Hayden, where the Prime Minister's car was waiting on the tarmac as he stepped off a jet. The Labor leader was sporting his Akubra hat as he descended the steps from the aircraft, while Ms. Hayden wore a tailored maroon suit. Mr. Albanese arrived in Washington, D.C. on Monday for an official state visit, at the invitation of President Biden, where the two leaders reflected on the Australia-US relationship. During several days of talks, Mr. Albanese and President Biden discussed an array of topics including the UK-US Defense Pact, climate change and ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict. As his international counterpart returned to Australia, President Biden shared a short video on social media to reaffirm the strength of relations between the two countries. The US-Australia alliance is more critical than ever, Mr. Biden wrote on X on Saturday, accompanied by the clip with highlights from Mr. Albanese's visit. This week, we made important progress ensuring tomorrow will be better than today. And it'll be more free, more fair, and for all people, because we have the power to make it so. Mr. Albanese was welcomed to Washington, D.C. earlier this week with a rare private dinner on Tuesday evening, local time, with President Biden and First Lady Jill. A lavish state arrival ceremony followed on Wednesday night, with some 4,000 guests in attendance at the White House, which had been decorated in American and Australian flags. The Prime Minister and President Biden also held a press conference on the South Lawn to address flaring Israel-Hamas tensions. All Australians condemn the atrocities, terror and pitiless brutality of Hamas. And Mr. President, we applaud the personal resolve you have brought to this troubled part of the world, Mr. Albanese told the crowd. You have spoken with moral clarity and you have stood up for simple principle, the principle that every innocent life matters, Israeli and Palestinian, and that in every conflict, every effort must be made to protect civilians. President Biden had invited Mr. Albanese to the US, after calling his trip down under in May due to a domestic debt crisis. The US-Australia alliance is more critical than ever. This week, we made important progress ensuring tomorrow will be better than today. And either TMLL be more free, more fair, and for all people, because we have the power to make it so. pic.twitter.com/82f8jbr2s0. President Biden, at POTUS, October 28, 2023. The Prime Minister will jet off again in just over 1 week's time to hold meetings in Beijing with Chinese President Xi Jinping. After months of mounting speculation, Mr. Albanese confirmed last Sunday that he will travel to China for 3 days from November 4 to 7. The visit comes after a significant improvement in relations between Australia and China, particularly in the trade market after Beijing lifted various sanctions on Aussie goods this year. I look forward to visiting China, an important step towards ensuring a stable and productive relationship, Mr. Albanese said in a statement last week. Mr. Albanese will also meet with Chinese Premier Li Chang during the visit. Sign up. Log in. Members connect with Sky News newsletters commenting guidelines. About US TV Guide about Sky News. The skynews.com.au team careers content sales and licensing media releases legal corrections. Contact us feedback and complaints partner with Sky News technical facts. Our news network the Australian Daily Telegraph Herald Sun Courier Mail Adelaide Now. Our partners Sky News on Flash Foxtel Sky News Regional Australia Channel Program Partners. Our apps. Privacy policy. Relevant ads opt-out. Cookie policy. Terms of use.